Hello, you Midas Mighty, Harry Litman of Talking Feds here. So you may have seen that President Biden today moved A, to pardon everybody in federal prison who's there on possession of marijuana, and B, to alter or initiate a process for altering the so-called scheduling of marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug like heroin and LSD, say, to a Schedule 3 drug. I just wanted to explain that a little bit more. First, while a lot of people have been assuming, oh, I'm in Colorado, marijuana is legal. Oh, I'm in California. In fact, it isn't. It's always remained in violation of federal law, and there's always the possibility of being arrested, though in practice, the feds have office by office, I think, declined to do any certainly possession cases, and only have used it when it's been useful for other charges. But in addition, the mere fact that it remains on the books in the federal system, many people take as a sign of the sort of fuddy-duddy reefer madness status of the federal government, and their inability to see that marijuana is no more serious, in many ways less serious than alcohol, etc. So I just want to explain what the current regulation of it is about and why this is a big move. So it's not so much that the drug folks have been vehement about keeping marijuana as a Schedule 1 drug. To the extent they have, it's really in order to bring cases where you can prove marijuana charges easily, and there are other ones that you can't prove but are out there. So there really is little zeal in the federal government, the DEA, for locking people up in federal prison for marijuana possession, notwithstanding occasional anecdotal accounts to the contrary. The big thing is the Federal Drug Administration, the FDA, and what matters there, and will still matter, is a conventional, routine, consistent treatment across the federal system. And the main reason for it is that marijuana, like other drugs, is sometimes used or proffered as a kind of quackery. Sometimes it's got legitimate uses. For example, as a palliative for people who are in real pain from chemo, from treatment for cancers, but other times not. And so you should think in terms of, say, Latril. And at the end of the day, it really does make sense that the federal government would be the ones proffering a uniform treatment. Imagine, say, if Louisiana said it's legal to use Latril to treat cancer, and Texas said it wasn't, and you had a crazy quilt pattern, and people in Louisiana were using it, but it wasn't effective, in fact, and the use that they were trying on was really a kind of quackery. That's the reason that one wants to have Federal Drug Administration, the FDA, in on the treatment of something like marijuana. So that's been the real sticking point from its becoming generally legal in use. And so when Biden says he's going to initiate, first he's going to pardon everybody, that's a real progressive move, though be aware that many people who you might think are in federal prison for mere possession crimes aren't. There's more to their crimes than that, typically distribution. But the real sticking point has been at the level of the FDA, and so when he says he's going to initiate that process, that's the big news, and that's the thing that has to happen, and the obstacle that need be removed in order for marijuana to have the status throughout the country that it has in many individual states, and for people, in fact, to know that they largely can use it with all the asterisks in small amounts, not distributing, etc. So to date, the FDA has always pushed back, but if the president is behind this as a kind of initiative, it has a strong chance of passing. And, you know, presidents before, including good Democratic presidents, haven't been willing to put their weight behind it. So this is a real, I would say, progressive move on Biden's part. All right, so that's the bottom line. Think not about drug crimes as much as categorization of drugs in order to have consistency across the federal system. And so definitely a laudatory, salutary idea for people not to be in federal prison for mere possession. Not as many of those as you may think, however. And the big obstacle having been FDA classification, Schedule 1 versus Schedule 3. And if Biden's able to push that through, that will be the real change that makes marijuana criminalization by and large a thing of the past. So there you have it, you Midas Mighty. Harry Litman of Talking Feds. We've got our own YouTube channel now. You can check us out. Lots of stuff on there. We've got interviews that we did in Austin recently with Lyle Lovett and Adam Schiff and Jamie Raskin and the like, and different kind of content. So check us out. And the next time something big happens, we'll be here to try to break it down. Until then, talk to you later.
This November is Rovember. MeidasTouch just released its brand new collection of Rovember t-shirts and pins to let the country know what's at stake this upcoming midterm election. Go to store.meidastouch.com to grab yours. That's store.meidastouch.com.